Oh, don't do that. Right, I'm minimising that.
As soon as you put video on here, I'm going to look at it like a retard. It doesn't matter if you hide that, because I'm just going to look at this and make funny faces.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we will forget that that's there. I'm kind of hoping.
It's unlikely.
Yeah, hello, welcome to episode 110 of the Drinky Talky thingy. And we are experimenting with video.
And in case you didn't get the intro bit,
my
head isn't really this small. He's sat close to the camera. It's a little head anyway, but that's, yeah.
They didn't get that because that video was accidentally overwritten.
No, but I did at the beginning of the podcast.
Oh yeah, they've got the sound for it, which will confuse the fuck out of everyone listening. The people with the video version of this.
We'll have to just put a black screen over that bit, won't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
well. I'm doing well already.
Games?
Yeah, games. We're here to talk about games.
You're about to see how well scripted this is.
Where do you want to start?
Well, let's start as we started last time. SimCity.
Right, SimCity offline mode. Right, they're still going on about it. Offline mode is a piece of piss to do. Actually, the modders have done it.
Yeah. In fact, it was done within the first few hours, I think, of it being released, wasn't it?
But they've said offline mode didn't fit with our vision, and the community manager, I can't remember what her name was, loading up the story now.
It was the well, Reddit summed it up perfectly. It didn't fit with their vision.
Yeah.
Their vision to charge us more money to buy extra little bits.
Yeah.
They are getting a hard time. I think, namely because they came out with the microtransactions.
This is it. It's not the microtransaction stuff. It's not even the online-only DRM. Always online DRM. We have accepted it as a thing.
Yeah.
We can't argue it now. As gamers, we have laid down and we have taken it up because it's in so many games now. Diablo.
Well,
one of the biggest PC games ever.
I just want to point out, right? There's a certain person here that has just done nothing but complain about DLC since day one. Hello.
Yeah.
I warned everyone. I said it was coming.
I can honestly say I've never bought a game with always online DRM. I've played many.
I've never bought DLC.
No.
I've never once bought DLC.
No, I have bought DLC.
Have you?
Yeah.
What?
I played some MMOs, some free-to-play MMOs, and I have bought microtransactions on ones that I've enjoyed.
I can justify that on free-to-play. But
yeah.
If you pay for a game and then pay for extra bits...
I can't remember what it was. No, I have paid for one DLC. I think it was Street Fighter. I think I paid for a couple of extra characters because I liked those characters.
Yeah. It's Call of Duty that put it into context for me because I had it on PC.
Yeah.
And then... We used to get patches, used to get free maps. Christmas time, they made a Christmas map. It was great. And then consoles started getting more and more popular, and all of a sudden,
that's where they
suit.
Went. Yeah. Well, anyway, it's. I had a name a second ago. Bradshaw, not Bradshaw.
You just.
Oh yeah, no, it is Lucy Bradshaw, Max's head. This is what I was getting at. The problem is not the always on DRM. It's not the DLCs. It's not even the fact that the servers were unstable. The fact is, we will accept always on DRM if you tell us that's what it is. What they tried to do, and what she kept doing, and had to release a straight answers report, answering questions, is tried to sell the DRM as something other than it was.
They tried to pull the PR stunt, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, basically, their argument was that the processing required to run SimCity is too much for your average machine. We have to do part of it in the cloud.
Yeah. It's not a bug, it's a feature, comes to mind.
It's up there with that. So yeah, she tried to sell that, and then modders got even more agitated. One of them picked apart the code, found the 20-minute timeout. So if you're online, you start your game, you disconnect, you come back off, you're 20 minutes later. He commented out that line.
I think there's a certain mantra that everyone in the games industry needs to learn. No matter who you are and what you've done, there is always somebody smarter than you.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you do to protect your game. If somebody is kind of a fan but not happy with your principles and how you work, there's going to be someone out there who's smarter than you that will get around it.
Even better than that, when he started picking it apart, regional play. He worked out exactly how that works. The data that's sent from the server. If they need extra servers to calculate the stuff that's coming back via regional play, it's just a string of data. It's literally in string format. So they don't need to be online at all. They could have one patch update. If you wanted, you could basically, what he said is, if you have it hacked and play a region on your own and you control each city, then that would work fine. Because when you go offline, your city becomes static. It freezes. Yeah. It's not like the extra servers would be needed if every city continued playing, but it doesn't. When you go offline, that's it. Your city is frozen in time as far as the server's concerned.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Which means
if you're going to have this always online thing, you would have a city that never sleeps.
Yeah, but your city freezes. You shut down and you come back online, and you've got the same amount of resources, regardless of how long you've been offline. So your resources are there at that point, and that's all that's been passed in regional play. So you could play an entire region on your own if they'd given us an offline mode for regional.
I'm just starting to wonder now, at what point does SimCity start venturing more on the realism side, where you actually have multiple people working together? You have a mayor, a town planner, everyone working to build your city and keep it
got better. I forgot to put the link in there, but there's actually a severe bug that could only happen as a result of the always online requirements.
Alright.
With the right modification, it will allow you to summon natural disasters in other players' cities.
Oh, brilliant.
And because it's always online and it auto-saves to the server,
you can't undo it.
They come back online and their city's being fucked.
Oh, that's harsh. That is just genuinely mean.
So there's videos on YouTube of people going into other people's cities, spending all of their money, and then bringing forth Godzilla.
That's the one thing I always appreciated about SimCity. Regardless of what they've done now to screw up the franchise, there was nothing better than building an awesome city and then just letting Godzilla go to town on it.
Yeah. But anyway, it's done badly. Unfortunately, it's done well at the same time. It's sold 1 million copies.
Yeah. Well, you say it's done well. 1 million is not that many. Even in the PC realm,
in the PC realm, it's for a city simulator.
Yeah, that's it. For
the genre.
But for the amount of press this thing's getting around the
Let's put it this way. Heart of the Swarm's only sold 1.1 million copies in 48 hours, so...
Yeah, but that's 48 hours.
Yeah, I suppose.
And again, it's not Call of Duty.
No.
I know that's a daft thing to say, but let's face it, certain genres do better.
Yeah.
But FPS always does well.
The RTS genre's been kind of dead for a long while now. There's very few people out there doing it, and doing it well, so we needed that. But anyway, as a result, John Riccitiello. I can never say that.
That's how I'd pronounce it.
Riccitiello. I don't care. Doesn't matter. He's fucking gone.
I'm loving the Italian accent. Remember to do this as you say it as well.
Riccitiello.
There we go. So that's his name. But he's resigned.
Yeah, he's resigned his post as CEO. Basically, he didn't want to pay for employment years 7, 8 and 9 as DLC.
Somebody's been reading Control-Alt-Delete recently.
Yeah.
The point is, let's face it.
Take your pick. Control-Alt-Delete, Explosive, Cyanide Happiness, Little Gamers. I think pretty much everybody has said DRM and DLC, bad idea.
But let's look at EA on the whole, right? They defended Gears.
Yeah.
Oh, bit of good press. They said something about microtransactions. Then they released SimCity. It was a horrible turn of events.
They're actually on this year's nominations for Worst Consumer Company in America again. Second year running they're on the nominations. Last year they won it.
So they do not deserve to be there.
No, they don't. There are worse consumer companies.
They really are, yeah.
Games industry, though, if we were going games industry at this point, how close would the call be?
It's a yeah, all the way.
Yeah.
Nobody else comes close. You could argue Zynga, but they drop out of the limelight so quickly, nobody cares. EA are always there.
I'm still pissed at Activision.
Yeah, okay.
I've got a personal vendetta against Activision. They destroyed my favourite company.
I was trying to let them off this week because I usually rip into them every week. Usually we rip into Bobby Kotick, but he's been really quiet, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I think since he's gone on the board of Coca-Cola and every other company in the world, he hasn't got time to talk about.
I've got my own personal issues with Activision and the way they've destroyed Blizzard and Heart of the Swarm. Fucking good game. However, the fact that it's a follow-on from the previous game and the only impact my decisions in the previous game had on it are about 4 or 5 bits of fucking dialogue.
Well, it could be worse. It could have an ending like Bioshock, like Mass Effect.
Well, no. Their argument is that they didn't want to have to create... No, they didn't want to break canon and they didn't want to make it your choices in that game irrelevant, so they rewrote the dialogue, but the basic events of the game still continue as if...
In my mind now, it's like somebody says, hey, do you remember that time? Or is that pretty much it?
That's literally it. The first one that you meet, he said, you left me for dead. or your choice is... you shouldn't... I can't remember what it is, but basically I chose spectres over ghosts, and when I'm arrested by a ghost in the first part of the game, it references that I made that choice. Which, I want to know how it handles the fact that I've played through that story twice.
Did you make the same decisions twice?
I think I made the same decision on the ghost thing, but I want to know what it's going to do when I get to a certain thing where I did choose to go the other way the second time round. Because it'll have both...
You know, I never actually finished.
Doesn't surprise me.
No, I start lots of games, I don't always finish them. I'm determined to finish XCOM. Did I mention XCOM?
Not again. You've actually not only convinced me, but at least 2 other people at work to buy it.
It is absolutely awesome. Have you seen the offer as well? Sorry, this is a shameless plug, but I've seen this and now I'm jealous because XCOM and Bioshock Infinite was down to about 20 quid. Pre-order Bioshock Infinite, get XCOM.
You fucker!
I know, I've just seen it as well. I bought fucking PS3 version.
You absolute cock! Because I bought the version the other day.
I would have it on PC if I had it by choice, but now I'm that far involved in the PS3 version, I can't go back. Otherwise, I would stop and start playing. But honestly, it's...
Fuck you.
It's worth whatever you paid. How much did you pay?
11 quid.
Oh, that's not bad then. It's worth it. And Bioshock Infinite, just on a similar note, has had its review out from IGN.
Yeah.
The only people allowed to review it, and they've said it's awesome. I don't want to sound too sceptical here, but when you are the only reviewer, there's some money involved there, isn't there?
Yeah. Well, no, there may not be money involved, but if there's not actual cash involved, then there is personal profit involved because you know you're the exclusive. So you'll do it for no money, knowing that the money will come in return for being the exclusive.
Yeah,
exclusives are very dangerous areas.
Well, not only that, but think about it. It's coming out shortly.
Yeah.
And this is the only review out there.
Mm-hmm.
They've massively hyped the pre-orders and given all sorts of bonuses. Every time a game does this, is usually for a reason, because it's not as good as it should be. And that's what worries me about Bioshock Infinite, because I want it to be awesome. I'll have one of the hobgoblins.
We're going to have a hobgoblin. But yeah, I can understand that. But as we've been on the inside, and we know that exclusives are not done for the benefit of the people who the game is made by. They're done for the people writing the exclusive.
Yeah. The amount of times, I mean, we had to sign NDAs, didn't we? On
NDAs.
We will not disclose anything until after this date.
Well, no, not just the NDAs.
To which we went to all of our mates and went, hey, buy this, it's awesome.
Yeah. Well, everybody does that. But no, it's not just the fact that NDAs. What people may not stop acknowledging the camera.
I'm trying to sell things. We can monetize this.
What? See, now you sound...
Brilliant. We'll pause it halfway through and if they want to listen to the rest, we can charge them 5 quid.
No, aside from just NDAs for the entire thing, but embargoes on parts of it, so you'll be able to review the single player part, but the multiplayer will still be embargoed because Usually because they're still balancing it.
Working it out, yeah.
But that happens all the time. It's just something that you have to accept.
You know, proper beer tastes a lot nicer than that donkey piss I was drinking earlier.
Well, if you're going to drink Coors...
Yeah. Americans...
Your beers are
This
wrong.
is not good beer.
That is not beer full stop. I piss more alcoholic things than that.
I saw a great one the other day. Somebody saying there's a picture they'd taken in the urinals of their local brewery place, microbrewery in America. And instead of a flush thing, it just said Bud Light. I just thought it was funny. So, we've covered SimCity. We've
covered Rickety Yellow. They lost a load of money. The shares have plummeted as a result.
We even kind of covered StarCraft there.
Yeah, we did.
Was that kind of a segue? Does that count?
I think it's a good segue because we actually...
Yeah.
A good segue must be acknowledged. This is something I've discovered from other podcasts.
What, they actually say, wow, that was amazing!
Yeah!
Oh, we've been doing it wrong.
No.
We've been trying to act calm and professional and suave when really it's two blokes sat in his front room looking at the stories. I keep looking at the camera! Right.
A really good segue must be
acknowledged. Where should I look?
Just don't. I'm just looking at the screen, fuck it.
I feel like an autistic kid. That was mean. I'm going to hell.
The other Heart of the Swarm story is the fact that the developers have come forward and say that basically they've been watching everybody playing the online game and watching people play the multiplayer and are happy to see how many people are experimenting and how much they're experimenting with the various builds and strategies and they actually said nobody's quite there on figuring out the perfect strategy as the AI.
I honestly, if it's similar to other StarCraft games, there's a simple trick here. Just type faster than your opponent.
Typing faster is a good one.
That's generally the way it works.
Having a 400. Which one is it? I've got one of my mice has the light system.
Sorry, funny words is back on the go again.
Oh dear!
I have some challenges tonight.
Yeah, my mouse has the StarCraft mode, and it actually links into the game, and the colour of the mouse will be dictated by my actions per minute in the game.
So the award of geekiest mouse goes to.
But that was a full set. The StarCraft set is the SteelSeries StarCraft set. This
is what happens when I access my phone at work. I've got an elephant on a beach rolling
Show
around.
the camera.
Why? There you go. There's our podcast picture. Yeah. I'll keep that one.
Send me the link and that's it. But yeah, apparently nobody's close to finding out what it's about, strategy-wise, which is good. It means that they've got StarCraft back to where it needed to be, back to being a proper, challenging strategy game that I will never get up to the higher ranks of.
Well, let's face it. That time we played online, I'm sure you all know this story as well as we do, but that time when you set up me and Roy and you and one of your friends, and what happened was you left. And your friend beat the shit out of me and Roy.
I disconnected. My machine died. My machine actually died, and by the time I'd got it back up and running, you'd lost the game.
I know. I've genuinely no idea how I'm going to shoehorn these words in here. I don't think the words. You know, usually when people start making things up.
Yeah.
I think that's happened again.
Oh dear. Anyway, so shall we stick with Blizzard and go to the other Blizzard story?
Yeah, carry on. Yeah.
And that's at PAX. It's PAX East at the minute. They have announced Hearthstone, which is their next trading card game. Now they had a trading card game before. I can't remember which company it was with, but I have a couple of them up on the wall over there. Some of the big fancy ones. And that ended 2 years ago. They stopped doing that properly. But anyway, they've decided. People were wondering why, and were wondering what Team 5, because they always had this mysterious Team 5 development team. This is what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a digital card game. Version.
I'm just going to nod and smile.
I'm trying to think of
I have no idea.
No, I'm trying to think of a comparison. Heroes of Nerith. which is the EverQuest digital trading card game, or any of the recent versions of Magic, the Planeswalker, Rise of the Planewalker. That is that kind of thing, but in the World of Warcraft environment. It looks very good. It's going to be iOS, so I'll be able to play it on my phone. I think I included the video, so go watch it.
I might play this.
It's
my kind of game. That's the thing. If I'm going to play any kind of iOS game, I want to be able to jump in, jump out.
Well, that's it. The idea is that you'll be able to jump in, play a 10-minute game against somebody, jump back out. Or if you've got 5 minutes, jump in, do your deck management, and then fuck off.
See, now there you've lost me a little bit there, because what annoys me more about any kind of mobile game is, like, for example, the Simpsons mobile game.
Yeah.
When you first start out, it's great. When you get a little bit later on, you log in, you click on every house to harvest all your cash.
Yeah.
Set everyone doing a task, jump out again.
Yeah.
That's not a game. That's work. That's what you do at work. Can you do this? You do that. Well, that's what middle management do at work.
Well, no. They've got 3 modes. The game. I did watch the video before, so I know the game's got 3 modes. First mode, you take your deck, you go up against another player. Plain, simple, old school card game. For that, you'll win new decks, and you'll be able to build the ultimate deck. Which you have to do when you want to play card games properly. You've got to have your right build of resources and characters.
I mean, they can see this look of desperation on my face.
Right. Second mode is the same thing, but against the AI.
Right.
Third mode is where you'll come in. It's designed for that mentality.
The casual gamer.
Well, no. They
can do this now.
Yeah.
I understand.
No.
Yeah.
The idea is, you go in and you don't have your normal deck. You go in, you pick your hero character, and then you spend 2 minutes. They pop up 3 cards, and you pick one.
Yeah.
So the 3 cards that pop up are random,
build a deck,
and basically you build a random deck there and then play a game against somebody else who's also built a random deck there and then.
So how big can your deck be?
I think it's 50 cards.
That's quite a big deck.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You child. You absolute fucking child.
I couldn't resist. I shouldn't make me laugh as that. Oh, right. So what else do we have?
I don't know where to go from it.
Well, how about Richard Garriott? He's a big deck. He is.
He is an absolute...
If you look up cock in the dictionary, it's next to contrafluviarities. It's him.
Yeah.
That totally wasn't a word again. Somebody's clearly a Blackadder fan. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, Garriott has come out with...
Yeah, well... Regular listeners to the podcast will know about our thing of diseases. We've got the Molyneux, which is where you just spout loads of stuff and never actually come forth with what you've just been spouting.
Yeah, you never come forth with anything tangible. You create nonsense. Really, you are the guy that goes to uni, studies psychology, and then analyses all your friends.
Yeah, we've got...
That's Peter Molyneux.
We've got the Belinsky-Clarkson syndrome, where it's all about power and graphics and
I want to get a sound clip of him saying that.
Yeah.
Do you think if we ask him nicely?
No, I think Sir British has actually created his own.
The thing is, though, Sir British, Mr. Richard Garriott, has always had this kind of... He's in people's minds. He's the nice guy.
No, he's not.
No, he is. Everyone thinks of him. It's like, oh, bless, his games always fail. Like, pat him on the head and let him run away.
He spent the last 30 years milking Ultima to death.
Yeah, but the thing is that he's had success. Just not recently. It's just, unfortunately, no. It's like Richard Garriott, oh, he's a legend, he did Ultima. Alright, what else did he do?
Tabula rasa.
Exactly. He went to space while the game went bankrupt. That says a lot about.
Well, no. That was a bit more messy than just that. He went to space to advertise the game. His fellow board members ousted him while he was in decontamination. Because he had to go through a period.
Can you imagine that? Guys, I'm in space. Don't bother coming back.
Basically, the rest of the board ousted him while he was in orbit. Basically, knowing that he'd be stuck in decontamination for that long that he wouldn't be able to do anything about it.
That's brilliant.
It was
absolutely fantastic.
But yeah, he's been doing interviews as a result of the Kickstarter that he's currently doing, which is for something or other, kind of ripping off Ultima yet again.
I can understand where he's coming from, though.
I can't.
No, I mean with this argument he's got here, namely because what his argument is generally we've got a lot of bad game designers.
We don't.
We do, right? There's some terrible game choices, but his basis for this is to be a game designer. You don't need artistic skills or programming skills. You can get in by going down the QA route.
Yeah.
Right. So, what you're basically saying there is your career path is playing games for a living.
Yeah.
And then making games for a living. That's your kind of thing,
yeah.
Right. Whereas artistry, generally you would go to university and study 3D design.
You would.
And so on. Programming, generally you would go to university and study
drink
programming.
until your leather turns black.
Yeah.
Ooh, hang on.
God, I got a call. What do we do?
What do we do?
Pause it! What do we do with the video? We'll
Hello.
edit this bit. It's fine.
Hello. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, she's upstairs.
So, yeah, me too. Some fish there. It's no dog. Talk to us on Twitter and Facebook if you want. Oh no.
I'm going to take the opportunity to pee.
Yeah, this video's still recording.
I know.
Yeah. Have fun playing that back, by the way. I feel the loving urge to moon the camera right now. This is what happens to my brain when Paddy leaves. I shouldn't be left alone. He's gonna have fun listening to this, isn't he? I've had a conversation with the camera while you've been gone.
Fair enough, I'll cut it.
Well, yeah, cut it, leave it in, whatever.
I'll cut it out and put it at the end.
I may have made hand gestures while you left the room. Should we go back before the...
No, we're going to...
No, we'll have the videos, the unedited, whereas the sound, we don't want the ringing phone in there, do we?
Fuck it, we'll leave it in.
Oh, that's the... Come on. We don't usually do editing, but...
We're not doing editing, shut up.
I've no idea what I was talking about. You've got to go back and play it. So, alright, just go back. Just stop. Go back and play. And we'll go from there. This isn't part of the podcast. There we go, that's the phone. What do we do? Right. What was I talking about? I still no idea.
You would.
So on. Programming, generally, you would go to university
and drink until your liver turns black.
Yeah. Right, so if we stop there, because then... Oh, sorry, I'm shouting into the mic. So it's...
I can record over the top of that.
Well, what is that next bit?
That's me saying and drink yourself stupid.
Yeah, but what do I say? I'm sure that's me
Yo,
saying
yo,
and
go
go to uni. What?
Go to uni and I jump in and say it.
Okay.
And drink yourself stupid like I did, because I didn't.
Big gap there. That is not very sharp fluent at all. The phone rang. Let's be honest. Right. So you go.
Why did you make me fucking do that?
Because now we don't have the phone in there. Right. So you go and you study programming or art design, whatever you. Not art design. That's not a real course. 3D, whatever you do.
Yeah.
QA testing. Literally, all you have to do is pull yourself out of bed in the morning.
Yeah.
So, what you've got there is somebody dedicated wanting to get into the games industry, somebody really dedicated wanting to code in the games industry, and somebody that wants to play games for a living. I can understand his argument, because I know a lot of people that would jump.
However, I dispute the number of people that have ended up in design or
yeah,
from QA.
I think it's the littler kind of. Well, not.
No.
It's probably bigger studios. Actually,
The QA don't generally end up in design. They end up in the middle management roles, the roles that have to be done, but aren't quite actually making any games.
Yeah, I'll admit, right, I think like every single person probably in the world that plays games, I would love to be a designer, and like every single one of those person, I'd probably think, I could do an awesome job at that, I know games, I could definitely design a game.
I've done it.
You have.
I ran and designed a game
And you
coded
left
it.
and it went downhill, so technically,
Yeah.
you ran a very good game and did it well, so... But again, you're a coder. You understand more of the intricacies.
Yeah. I designed quite a few features for that game, and it was they were good.
Does it help that I made them look pretty?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Well, they wouldn't work without being
Credit!
pretty.
So...
Goodbye.
It's nice to be trapped like this. That's what I like about podcasts on a Friday. I can get more pissed and cycle home. That's not going to go well, is it?
It's not going to go well at all. But yeah, he basically spouted out all designers are crap apart from me, Molyneux, and Will Wright.
Talk about a boys' club. I mean, that is literally we're awesome. Fuck you. I mean, as I appreciate somebody with that much experience, what he should say is, "You're not very good. Let us teach you."
No. Basically, the whole side of the argument is it's him saying it. The last game he designed that was good was Ultima.
Well, I was actually just thinking. Imagine the Gary at School of Game Design. Space.
So yeah, he had that interview, and then he had to kind of defend his words and say his words were taken out of context. And to clarify, by no means did I intend to disparage others who have led the many great games in this in each era of gaming. Sadly, I really do think that most people who get into design roles on a team have no more skill at design than the programmers or artists beneath them.
That's kind of a fair point. What you expect from a designer is somebody that has ideas beyond the scope of those below, otherwise they shouldn't be in a design role.
Yeah.
But I imagine the problem you've got is in the games industry. I imagine a lot of people kind of say, "This is my idea. What do you guys think?" And you end up with that design by committee.
What I want from a designer when I was involved in that kind of thing, the designer does need to just have the ideas. What he needs to not do is when he takes those ideas to the people that will actually implement it, the artists and the developers.
That's
if
what
they
think.
No. You can ask what they think to a point, but at some point they're gonna.
Well, everyone knows design by committee doesn't work. You end up.
But
with
you
a
design
half-assed
something
game.
and then give it to them, and then they go, "Well, this won't work. This won't work. This won't work." And if they can explain why that won't work, that won't work, and that won't work, then it's fine. Take their things on board, go back, retool. That's the job of a good designer.
I think a good designer would design for the ideal scenario rather than a developer that thinks we can't do that. Let's do this.
Well, that's it.
The
developer mind immediately stops on anything that it knows it can't do, even if it's only because it hasn't done it before.
Yeah.
A designer's mind will go, "I want this to happen."
I don't care how you do it, make it so.
It's the basic principle of cloud technology. I want this to happen. I'm going to let you deal with the shit of how that happens.
I don't care how you balance this, just I'm going to chuck people at you randomly and you do something with them.
Well, that's it. Cloud gaming is basically, I want to play a game. I don't care how the fuck that game comes to be on my screen. I just want to play a game.
Good. Time for a music break?
We can stick a music break in if you want, and then...
Music. Hello, video. You're still here. This is the behind the scenes bit. This is what we do during the music break.
We do.
Although
You check your phone.
the slightly toned down version, usually we're kind of dancing around and...
Do we want to listen to the song this week, or do we want to just pretend again?
Shh! You can see us!
It's only going to be a problem if Trevor watches it.
I've got 2 words done, and the worst thing is, there's only one I've got to consider. It's going to be awkward to get in there. The other one is actually on topic. One of our stories ties in with one of the words.
Nice.
So, Yeah, that's going to be easy.
Oh, fuck it. Hello, Trevor, if you're watching.
He's not. He listens in his car, and we make him crash when we go, like, scream. Should we scream randomly to the microphone?
Let's not. Let's work out what the hell song this is called.
I like this behind the scenes stuff. It's like the DVD extras, but shit.
Yeah. Well,
Quite frankly,
there will be a bit of that middle bit where the.
Oh, that's a point. Did we turn the sound off?
I turned the sound back on because I thought of things like this.
Ah,
the sound
right.
on the video is
but
still.
The sound won't line up, or may not. So we might have to.
Well, I'll fix it, and if it's out of sync, fuck it. YouTube can just get out of sync video. They stick it on there as a YouTube thing. For the last couple of weeks, I've been putting all the YouTube videos up there of my gameplay, and they've been fine, and putting adverts on them, fine, great, everything's happy. I put the podcast on YouTube with just a random static background that I created with our little 8-bit avatars.
Yeah.
We need proof that you own the copyright to this.
I assume the music within there. I mean, it's got to be that.
Oh no! It wasn't the songs. I don't know what it was, but
you mentioned Microsoft in your.
yeah, the first song, the intro music, is given with permission from the creator and is Creative Commons anyway, and the song in the middle is Creative Commons as well.
So basically, they're just coming up with ideas for nothing.
So yeah, something about.
We're still talking like it's a podcast. There's nobody listening.
No,
there is. There's that guy on the video.
The people who are watching the video are getting all this.
I'm a bit creeped out now. Actually, the people that are that intent to keep listening are. Do they still get the song? How are we going to do that?
They're not getting the song. Basically.
Oh, sorry, guys. You don't get a song. You get this.
This is fuck it. This is just going up as uncut. Apart from that bit when I dropped the phone off upstairs.
No, it's quite interesting though. I tried to do the socially awkward kind of. Hey. I don't know if it worked. Probably not.
Fuck it. It'll all stay in. In fact, yeah, bollocks. YouTube can have uncut.
It's just like we're doing what the games industry does here. We're releasing one version for one platform. If you want to see the uncut and edited version, download the video. You get phone calls mid-podcast. You get all sorts. Why not? Yeah, I'll be right back. I've got. It's just Helen's suggestions to go. Which
What?
Quite easy, really. Especially, I mean, look at that.
Oh no, that's easy.
I can get in
That's
easily,
easy.
because
Yeah.
Somewhere in there we have a story, don't we?
We do have a story.
And the other one, well, easy. Shoehorn. Come on. I got that in the first 10 seconds. I don't know, I'm going to shoehorn these in.
That's just
Worst effort ever. Granted, the contrafibularities is brilliant.
Yeah, that's
Just-
Blackadder. You can't fault Blackadder. Just hurry up so we
Any
can get
Americans
back.
haven't seen Blackadder, go see it.
Yeah, definitely.
Go see it, download it. Find it
Don't
online.
download it. Go buy it. It's the right thing to do. It's a good series.
America?
Hey, yeah, I'm sure they can. It'll probably be on Netflix, to be fair, or Amazon Prime. Anyway, I'm not as good at just randomly talking to a camera as Gow is. Not unless I'm doing something. I could put a game on, but that won't work. Gotta check my phone. He's been doing it. Why can't I? I've got a missed call from you.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
I also have lots of invites from online casinos.
Have you got the Canadian pharmacy email yet?
Yeah, they've been. The Canadian pharmacy is back in business. They've seriously been going mental the last couple of days.
So there is a key to talking to the camera when I'm not here.
Yeah.
You know that bit of your brain that filters what you're saying?
Yeah.
Just turn that off.
I don't know. Anyway, let's.
Literally, I was sat here going, I have the uncontrollable urge to moon you right now. that was my conversation. And I couldn't help it. That was in my mind. I was stood on this, bent over, ass cracked at the camera. It's probably a good job I didn't.
I'm not sure my camera would have lived it.
I don't think YouTube would allow it, would they? Filth.
I Hang on. Pause. There we go.
Right. And we're back. So that was We Came to Finish You.
Yeah. By MIDI Machine. Thanks, Trev.
We totally listened. It was awesome.
We didn't listen. I'm not lying.
To all of you video people, you know.
They know the truth.
If we don't release this as a video now, it's just pointless.
Oh, the video will go up whether the sounds are...
Yeah. We've had a good laugh in that little break. Just chatting to a little blue light. Something that says, I'm recording you.
What new stories have we got left? We've done EA, we've done... have we done Duke Nukem?
Duke Nukem is coming to iOS. That's pretty much the
Duke
story.
Nukem 2, which is the side-scrolling one.
Oh,
which
right.
is the good one.
Yeah. Wait. What was the bad one? If
3D.
you say 3D, I'm going to slap you.
3D.
Duke Nukem 3D was awesome.
3D was shit.
It was a good game. Just never go back and play it.
It was shit.
It was good. You just can't. You can't go back. Namely for the fact that I couldn't figure out how to look up and down.
Yeah.
But it was a good game at the time. There's nothing better than shrinking a stripper and kicking her. I mean, they say Grand Theft Auto was violent. This was pre
I suppose. No.
Grand Theft Auto time. Also, the pool table, you could kick the balls on it.
There is that.
They put a lot of effort into that game. Granted, everything was 2D and the strippers you could walk
Yeah,
around. They would always be looking at you.
There are a few things that are just anomalies, and most FPS games, the fact that you can't have actual functional mirrors.
What do you mean?
Going to most FPSs and the mirrors don't work.
Duke Nukem had working mirrors.
Duke Nukem did have working mirrors, but Call of Duty doesn't.
Well, no, they focus more on the teabagging. I believe that's how they developed their game. The mirrors don't work. Fuck it, can you teabag? Yes, done. That's 1 million copies right there.
But so many games don't want to work on the. Well, they just see it as a frippery, so they just don't want to.
As a what?
A frippery.
A frippery? You've made that up. That's not a word.
Dictionary.com.
Frippery.
Yeah. While he's looking that up.
Bullshit. That should be in my list of words to say.
Total War fan. Basically, the Creative Assembly studio had a fan that was coming into the was dying of cancer, basically, unfortunately.
Fuck you.
And
we shouldn't laugh during this.
No.
This is the worst story.
Before he died, they invited him into the studio. They brought him in and let him play a early build of some of the DLC and took some pictures. Now, he recently passed away, but Creative Assembly have continued to honour their fan, because he was a really big fan. He contacted them about everything, even before he fell
He's
ill.
invited around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he has now been added into the game as a permanent... Well, he is one of the Roman soldiers in the army. It's nice to see a studio...
It's a fitting tribute.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
it's good to see a studio doing that. And I like having these stories. Every now and again we get a good story.
Well, you say it's a good story. Somebody died, but obviously it's
No.
a nice, touching story.
No, it's good from the side of the... Well, everybody dies eventually, so you can't shy away from it.
It's not like EA saying, we support gay pride, look, we put a rainbow on something. This is actually a story of somebody doing something good.
Although if they rainbowed everything in Battlefield, I'd go play it today. Just make every... Rainbow Edge!
You wouldn't know what to jump off.
No. I'm imagining now, Battlefield with rainbow traces on every bullet. Can you imagine what the battlefield would look like?
Even better, you fire Nyan cats. I honestly think this mod needs to be created.
that would fuck with your eyes.
I need to open Battlefield 3, really, don't I? I've still got it sealed.
Where are we going next?
Also, I still have Modern Warfare 3 and SSX sealed. I've not opened them yet. They will be opened probably the next games night. Maybe not. I've got to finish XCOM first. And Dave at work, who may be listening to this, maybe not, mentioned Tomb Raider as a definite buy, so I might have to give that a go.
I saw a good webcomic today. Tomb Raider. She did well survive. Character 1. She did well surviving that. Character 2. Well, she had a lot of help. But a lot of other people really need some credit for that. Like who? Well, for one, the guy that went around tying fucking ropes to everything.
Fair point.
Which says it all. Shall we go on to another story then? Games industry in the UK is returning to growth. There's more jobs, more money, even though our government has fucked us over. Because that was the day before the budget, where Tiga went, the games industry is on the growth because you've promised us tax breaks. And then the budget came out and he went, yeah, about those tax breaks.
They're taking them away.
They haven't taken them away, they're just not giving us them yet because apparently Europe have to decide whether we can have them or not.
Fuck you. Europe do not have to decide how we deal with our own tax.
Yeah.
That's bullshit. Like I know the tax industry. I understand politics and what I've decided is he's wrong.
Yeah, basically what it looks like is about to happen, which is what I feared would happen, is every year it will roll around with, like the previous government. Previous government rolled around, promising.
The tax breaks are there because, I shouldn't say this because Dave, being that I work with him, I did look at a job posting for it's the same people who do the British film. Basically, they're hiring people to do the analysis. To actually interview, find out if a game is worthy of the British points. Basically, are you British? Tick. There you go. Which I think seems to be the reason. But they're hiring for that. So I can't imagine they would hire without it being definite.
Why not? They paid for £40 million worth of software development for the NHS and then just scrapped the project because it was...
Yeah, but this is a non-government body. I'm sure the British
So
film...
is the NHS.
It's not. It's paid for with public money.
It's paid for with public money, but it doesn't matter if it's... That doesn't make the NHS a government organised thing.
It kind of is.
It's not.
They have public money. There's some guy at the top who tells everyone not to snitch when things go wrong, and it's fine. I read the Daily Mail. I know how it works.
But that's just the way it is. I am now fearing what happened with Labour, and that's the fact that they promised the tax breaks.
Let's just not even mention political parties and just say politicians.
Yeah, with the last one.
Regardless of what party you choose.
They promised and promised and promised and promised, and then they went out of the door, and the other party scrapped. And then the following year, they agreed to give us it back and promised, and now they've agreed to finally actually give us it, and now it's on stall territory.
I think it's going to happen this time. I genuinely.
I hope to God it does.
It's too big an industry now to ignore. It's grown over the years now. We're kind of equal to the movie industry, and you can't ignore that. You really can't. Any creative industry in the UK really needs tax breaks because it'll get people in.
It does. Well, look at any country that already has tax breaks. Canada, for one. How many studios moved over to Canada?
There you go.
Look at where the studios are in America. They're in the states that have tax breaks for the games industry.
Ireland
have all of have the bulk of the UK studios because they have tax breaks.
Yeah. Anywho, moving on.
Where are we going to go?
I don't know.
Take a pick.
How about Pokemon? You gotta catch them all.
No. The thing said you were to sing it.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did.
No, it didn't. It just said I had to say it.
No, it said you had to sing it.
Well, I can't sing. How do you sing Pokemon Gotta Catch 'Em All?
I can't remember the theme tune, but you can. It's on YouTube.
I genuinely don't know how to sing it. Pokemon Gotta Catch 'Em All. I don't think that was it.
That's not it, but it's worth it. That'll do.
There you go. There's our intro for the next few podcasts.
A couple of weeks ago, we mentioned that. Well, it might have been last week. We mentioned the Pokemon Rumble was coming to the Wii U and would have physical characters. They've shown a trailer for it, and actually shown a trailer including the physical characters, so it's definitely happening.
And I'm massively against physical characters, but Pokemon have done it in a way that I deem it acceptable. They've made them
They're cheap. Yes.
They're cheap plastic characters from probably made somewhere in China, and they're sold as cheap plastic characters made somewhere in China, as they should be. I'm not going to pay £20 odd for a pirate ship that costs £2 to make, that has a little spiral coil of copper in it that makes it communicate with my stupid pad.
Yeah.
Just to get me a new level. And that's just redonkulous.
Fair enough.
Sorry, I get a bit ranty around Skylanders. Mainly because it's Activision and they're a bunch of wankers there. I've got my rant in this week.
Well, where are we going to go next? Deep Silver? Because they're a bunch of wankers in my mind.
We're going to get a reputation for being those people that no games companies ever want to give anything to, purely because we do nothing but rant.
I don't give a flying rat's ass.
What? Thank you.
I don't give a rat's ass if any of them ever give us a game again.
Why? Because only Blizzard give you games.
They don't even... No, even Blizzard don't give me games anymore.
Oh dear. We need to work this out, don't we?
Yeah. They I had to get somebody...
Has Johnny not sent you any games?
He didn't send me StarCraft.
Oh. Have you had words?
No.
I would honestly... Oh.
Not yet, but then because I forgot to actually request a copy.
I've spilt.
It's my own fault I forgot to actually request a copy this time round, so that's...
Did you not send him a Christmas card? Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, thought so.
Deep Silver, they've got Saints Row 4 on the way, coming out in August 2013, which is great news! Why I think they're a bunch of bastards is because they've basically disowned the Wii U. They are not releasing Saints Row 4 on the Wii U. They are not releasing Dead Island Riptide on the Wii U. And their justification for not doing so is piss poor. Their justification for not doing so is not lack of sales of the Wii U, which I would accept. If they'd given that reason, I'd have been fine with it.
They can't do that though, because it'll annoy Nintendo, won't it?
No. If they'd given that reason, I'd have been fine with it. If they'd given the reason that the machine's not powerful enough, I'd have laughed at them, and then I'd have accepted it. But the reason they've stated for both of these is that they don't know what to do with the gamepad. They didn't want to do anything the game without using the gamepad because the gamepad gives it.
That's like saying we're not going to release it for Xbox because we're not quite sure how to integrate Kinect.
Yeah.
It's a superfluous kind of add-on. The gamepad isn't necessary to playing a game.
No.
It's a nice addition.
Prime example, Cave. The Cave on the Wii U, which is where I bought it. Its gamepad capabilities boil down to showing you which character you have active of the 3 you've got. You can't even switch characters with it.
So, Cave, isn't that on PSN?
It's in the extra time stuff. PlayStation Plus this month gets the Cave for free.
There you go. Carry on. That was a well-placed segue. This is how we roll. Right, that's how it's done.
But Deep Silver, yeah, they've said because we can't do anything, because we can't work out what we do with the gamepad in terms of our game, we can't use it.
Yeah. It's bullshit. Basically, they don't want to spend that tiny bit of extra development time.
Yeah.
Putting it all together.
Well, all they have to do. I'm sorry, but the 2 games, right there, Dead Island and Saints Row. Both of them have a fucking mini-map. If they've got a mini-map, then they've got something to do with the control pad. Because you just stick the fucking mini-map on there. You don't even have to remove it from the main screen. Just put it on the screen.
You may have guessed by now, one of us owns a Wii U. Guess which one? The thing is, you've invested in a console, and you have actually slowly become this Nintendo fanboy.
I'm not fanboy. I know.
You just don't want to be the guy that bought a waste of space.
I don't even mind buying the failed things. I owned a Jaguar.
Never admit to that in public. Never.
I owned a Jaguar. I owned a X32. I had the Mega CD.
So basically, whenever you buy a console, just tell your friends not to buy it. That seems to be the run here.
Yeah.
Whenever you buy something, it fails.
Yep.
So that would be the Wii U, the Jaguar, the Mega CD. Have you got any others you want to chip in here?
I bought a PlayStation.
Yeah, we'll call that an anomaly. So,
Do you want to keep ragging the Wii U then?
no, it's fine.
You go. You talk about the price.
I like the Wii U. I think it's a genuinely good console, and I would have one if I had the budget. And even with the £50 or £60 price cut that's come in, it's still probably out of my budget. And the main argument is they've spent so much on the little pad thing that everything else has kind of been a bit detrimental to it. Even if you get the highest end, the premium console, 32 gig, whatever, it's about £200 at the moment. You can get a couple of games with it, Zombie U, Nintendo Land. It's a good deal. But if you want to download, let's say there's a Lego game coming out. What's the Lego game?
Lego City Undercover.
Lego City Undercover.
Well covered.
You have to buy an external hard drive to play it because you only have 32 gig. Now 32 gig's a lot, but
8 gig of that's operating system.
exactly, factor in the system, you've got 25 gig. Suddenly, an MMO takes up your entire hard drive because MMOs take up a ridiculous amount of space. It's all that high-end graphics they put into them, I think. It just takes up so much.
I know. No, it is a bit of a dick move on Nintendo's part. I accept that I may have made a bad choice buying the Wii U. But I was sold on that games pad. Because the gamer and the game designer in me can see so many ways of using that games pad. So many uses. And that's why it pisses me off with companies that aren't making use of it, because we couldn't think of anything to do with the games pad. It kind of ties back to Gary in that clearly these designers aren't good enough because they can't think of something to do with something as simple as an extra fucking screen.
Yeah, you have a touchscreen at your disposal. Pretty much every single person that's developed for the Nintendo DS found a use.
Yeah.
How can you not find it? Hell, there was a game where you fired fireworks into the top screen.
Big Bang Mini.
Yes, that was a magical game. There's 2 weeks on the trot and mention it now. If you've never played Big Bang Mini, right, you have to go and buy it now. Basically, the concept of the game is you fire fireworks from the bottom screen and they explode in the top screen. Yeah.
But even as simple as, well, as I just said, minimap, job done. That's it. You've made a use of the little screen. Inventory, touchscreen inventory, job done. So you don't have to put it on the screen, taking up real estate where you can put graphics. Hell, you don't want to use the fucking screen, don't use it. The gamepad is still a fucking decent controller.
I like the fact that the more irate you get, the more you swear. But
It really annoys me.
Think about it this way: people are trying to think of novel, gimmicky uses for it, but like you
It's
said,
it's not the gimmicks that we need. It's actual functional uses.
Well, think of it in a sense in your inventory. You could use thumbsticks to go left, click, move, click, or you could just use a touchscreen.
Well, that's it. Yeah.
You have a touchscreen at your disposal.
Scroll around, get the button, or just go boomf.
It doesn't have to be complicated. It can just be as simple as poke this to get your baps out. I don't know. Tomb Raider came into my head. It went downhill. Should we move on?
So, Deep Silver, fuck you. Sticking with the Wii U, yeah, £50 price drop. You've covered that. Lego City Undercover hard drive.
Yeah,
That's a bad idea. Admittedly, if it's dropped £50 in price, then you've got enough money to buy a 1TB hard drive. But you shouldn't have to. There should be a 1TB hard drive in there from the fucking get-go.
Yeah, there should be something to give you more than 32 gig.
In fact, I am going to go on record now. If both of the new consoles don't have at least a terabyte, I will be very surprised.
They won't. Right, I'm telling you now, they will not have a terabyte hard drive in there. First of all, they use mobile hard drives, which means a terabyte is actually reasonably high. Secondly, they like to charge. That's how they differentiate between multiple consoles, because they can't differentiate in power, because obviously.
Yeah.
So they have to differentiate by hard drive space. Now, any sensible person buys the lowest and installs a bit more. But there's a lot of people that will buy the more expensive one. So there'll be a PlayStation, I'm guessing, will be up to 640 gig. I don't know why. I'm going to pick that figure. 640 gig is going to be their high-end one.
Actually, no, I'm going to...
Their low-end will be 320. Go on.
I'll agree to those numbers. Low-end 320, high-end 640. But they'll be solid state.
No, definitely not. No.
The price, the rate that the price is dropping on those, it wouldn't surprise me.
Absolutely no chance.
Or that will be the kicker. That'll be the high end. So the low end will have.
Again, no, and I can give you a solid answer. Why
Go
not?
on then.
Marketing. How do you market to your average person? This one's solid state. To your geek, that makes sense, but to your average punter in the shop,
a video of the boot time difference.
No, again, it doesn't sell. I know it sounds daft, but you can't sell an SSD to an average consumer. It just doesn't work. You could buy this amount of space for this much, or this amount of space for a tenth of the price. Right then, tenth of the price every time. Let's face it.
No, I agree.
There's no benefit.
Sorry,
I'm a
nerd.
You are. We're both geeks. We would both stick an SSD in there if we had chance.
I am still contemplating putting an SSD in my PS3.
Don't. It's not built. It's not got the bus interface to actually. I just said that on a podcast.
That's what I was going for.
I've just descended into edit. Yeah. I may as well have a stamp that just says "Don't talk to me."
Pokemon covered. Nintendo, the EU shop and its 18+ restriction, which it's gone. Which was complete bollocks to begin with.
I think pretty much the moment it launched, everyone was like, Nintendo, we beseech you, stop!
What are you doing? You've got a good console here. Why are you shooting yourself in the foot?
It's the idea that people will actually, like kids will go, oh no, I've got to wait till 10 o'clock to go and download that. I just won't download it. No, what every kid went was, well, just wait till 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
My console is in my room, my parents are downstairs. Screw it, I'll download it.
Yeah. Oh, if I've got to wait till 10 o'clock, it must be good.
Yeah, there's that one as well. Dad, can I borrow your credit card? What do you mean no? Let me borrow theirs.
Don't need to borrow it. As long as the dad's put it in once, it's stored in the memory and he can use it whenever he wants.
God bless the iPhone.
If he's clever enough, he'll have stored the credit card details the first time he used it. Anyway, going back to a simpler time when kids weren't bastards, DuckTales. There's a remastered version of the game coming out.
Woo!
That's all I've got on that. Where are we going now?
Can't really add much more, really. We've covered PAX, we've covered DuckTales. Samsung have released a controller for the S4.
This is interesting to me.
Yeah.
This is
because
interesting.
this is the thing is, it's the fact. It's not the fact they've released a controller. It's the fact it's Samsung.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, they've
controllers for you mainly have argued for a very long time that the main problem with mobile phone games is the lack of buttons.
Yeah.
Now, a problem with a controller for a phone is that you can't guarantee that there's going to be enough support from it from the development side of things if somebody makes one.
Yeah.
However,
when
a company as big as Samsung makes one to go with their phone, that's where the equation starts to tip the balance.
There is still a slight issue here.
They've got to make it. They've got to release it at a decent price so every fucker buys it.
Not really. There's a bigger issue here.
Yep.
Right. The argument for me always is that I don't want to carry around a phone and a mobile gaming platform, be it Vita, DS, whatever. Right. What they're doing here is they're making me carry around a giant phone because it's not a little phone.
No, the S3 isn't.
I'm sick of the size that phones are getting to now. But they're also making me carry around a controller.
Yeah.
I may as well be carrying around a Vita and my phone. There is no real difference. Because the controller, by the looks of it, is similar size to a Vita.
I don't know, but that's it. It's just interesting that the mobile phone creators themselves are now getting the idea that maybe the gamers will want buttons.
I think they're lost. I think genuinely there is a time and place for certain games. Mobile gaming deserves to be your touch gaming. It's things like Angry Birds, it's your Tiny Wings, it's any game that you can play with a touch interface easily. That to me is how it should be.
You know what I'm designing in my hands, in my mind?
Yes.
I want a clamshell phone again.
Oh gosh, you've been going on about this for weeks. What now?
Now, imagine a shell over the top of the screen, and you can just, if you pop it that way, it just works like a normal clamshell. But if you've got a crease in the middle and pop it either side, controls on either side, job done. So it becomes a Vita.
I think you're a weirdo. Right,
I don't know. I really do want to go back to the time when phone was just a phone and I could make it it flip. You have never ended a phone call better than when you had a clamshell.
No. Admittedly, it has a certain effect on it, and you try and be cool and you smash your screen.
And you have never felt more like you were a member of Star Trek flipping the phone to answer it.
You know what I want, right? I remember the days when you'd pull out the aerial, then flip the phone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was when you were cool.
Oh no, I dropped that one in yellow paint.
I'm not even going to question.
That was. Yeah.
But either way, phones are not designed. Phones should be left as phones. What they are currently, you don't need to develop any further. I'm talking to you, right? You don't need to go any further than what you have. A touchscreen is enough. You don't need sticks. You don't need to develop games that mimic sticks. Just stop those games altogether. Just do...
Design for the phone.
Exactly, do what it does well.
Yeah.
In fact, there's a company, I mentioned it on that solo podcast I did, which wasn't awkward at all, where they invented a control system, which was a first-person control system, based around gestures, and that to me worked a treat. It looked fantastic, it worked well. Design for what you've got, not what you had before. I mean, it just doesn't make sense.
Right.
Sorry.
So
I've got all my words in. I just wanted to point that out. I'm not going to tell you what words they were. That's a mystery. We'll put that in at the end.
So we've only got a couple of stories left. Where are we? Sandy Hook. This is going to be a bad one. Right. The American press are trying to spin the Sandy Hook murders as an anti-gaming thing because the American media has still got an anti-gaming bias. I
don't understand Americans. This is the one thing I
It's
will
not
never
Americans,
grasp.
it's American media.
Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah, but America is one of the most developed nations in the world.
Yeah.
How can they be so retarded?
One of the biggest games industries in the world as well.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense.
The thing is, the problem is that the entire thing boils down to 1 point and 1 point only. They want something to blame for these things that's not the fact of the
Guns.
Second Amendment.
They cannot blame guns, can they?
Yeah, the Second Amendment cannot be at fault.
If by the way,
fact
I have someone on my Facebook, Mosh Miller. I know he at some point listens to this podcast. If he listens now, don't take offence to any of this, because he does genuinely go on about guns.
No, I understand their arguments for having the Second Amendment. However, the Second Amendment was written a couple of 100 years ago now, for 50,
there's
300
a more
years.
pressing point here. There's part of the Second Amendment that isn't referenced. The Second Amendment actually says the right of every blah 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 should have a militia and the right to bear arms.
Yeah.
Now, I would like to see how many militias there are across the United States.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. There are quite a few.
Not enough to overthrow a government.
No.
And even then, every single person in the army defends the Constitution, not the government.
Yeah.
So the army technically are on your side as well. So what that means is the government are going to overthrow you with what?
Yeah.
We're not in the ages when this was written. Things have changed.
Life has changed, and even if you're going to carry it on and say, yeah, fair enough. If we have to ever overthrow our government, we should have weapons to do that.
Yeah.
But
your government is an unarmed bunch of guys with a pen and paper. I mean, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
It discombobulates me.
Which means you can actually do it with a single handgun. A normal semi-automatic handgun. There is no need for high-powered sniper rifles. There is no need for MK50s. There is no need for machine guns.
Well, the argument they always make is, well, the army have these guns, but the army, according to your constitution, are on your side.
Yes.
So really, what's happening here is you're defending yourself against a pen.
Yeah,
it maybe
we are defending ourselves against the
Glock.
army. That they won't. The moment the government tells the army to turn on its
We're doing it again, Paddy.
Yeah,
we're mentioning American politics, and not only do we not have any involvement in it, but
anyway, yeah.
The
point is that the American media are spinning anything other than guns to be the problem with shootings in America. Sandy Hook was a very bad situation. And their insistence that it was a gaming-related thing has got to the point where now apparently the fact that the guy had... Apparently the killer had a spreadsheet listing all of the previous multi-murders across the country, what weapons they used, how long it took them, basically just details of every murder, which is clearly... in any other sign, the sign of a psychotic mind. That's not a normal mind to be going off and researching mass murder.
Yeah.
Now, what the American media are currently spinning that as is that it wasn't a spreadsheet, it was a high score chart, and that he'd created this high score chart for himself, for his gamer mentality, and the entire reason he went on a killing spree was to become the top of that chart. And as if using a cheat code, he'd picked an elementary school because there would be less resistance there, allowing him to get a higher score.
He wanted to go down in history. He wanted to be glorified. Well done, American media. You've done that for him.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
What makes this a bit more... Right, here we go. I'm going to read a quote now. They believe that the shooter believed that this was the way to pick up the easiest points. It's why he didn't want to be killed by law enforcement. In the code of a gamer, even a deranged gamer like this little bastard, if someone else kills you, they get your points. They believe that's why he killed himself.
Yeah. Well, me and Paddy discussed before this.
Yeah.
There's only one game we've come across. Even then, that was flawed because that didn't make sense either. But.
No. I missed that last bit when we were discussing it. Right. I can't think of a single FPS other than one, which isn't FPS. It was a sword fighting game. A single FPS where you kill somebody, you get their points. Can you think of one?
It's no. Sorry, I was just thrown off by when you actually approach it.
Yeah.
Can you think of one?
The only comparison I can find to that statement, where if you kill someone you get their points, was the little game made by Beatnik Games where you played a robot, and I can't remember its name. But you were a robot, you were running around a 3D world. The entire thing was you were on this little planet, bouncing around the world. It was gravity based, and you chased other robots down, and it was a samurai game basically.
Yeah.
When you killed them, you got their points, and that made you faster.
Funny enough, they have a game called Samurai Beatdown, but that's not the one we're on about.
You're looking at Beatnik, isn't it?
Plain Sight.
Plain Sight, that's the one. Yeah, you ran around, and yeah, when you killed somebody, you got a point plus any points that they had.
Well, actually, thinking back in hindsight, I don't think that's how it worked. I get what it was. You had to get your points and then cash them in by committing suicide.
That's what I was getting to. As you kill people, you get their points, but that makes you faster and stronger.
Yeah.
But it also makes you brighter and easier to target. So it made it easier for people to hunt you down. The only way to cash your points in was to kill yourself, which is what they...
Yeah, suddenly this makes sense. But the chances of anyone within American media that is so against games of playing such a small British game...
It was a very niche game.
It's minute.
And if you were going to make that that distinction, he would have been doing it with a samurai sword.
Well, the idea, the problem we got here is the fact that I mentioned on my solo podcast, I'm going to keep referencing this,
Yeah.
but it's about 60% of parents believed that violent video games contribute to violent tendencies in teenagers. Yet they're happy with guns. You know, it's just...
The problem is, 60% of parents believe that video games make people violent.
Right, there's also another flaw here.
Yeah.
On a similar rating, none of them actually seem to realise that there are age ratings on games.
Yeah, I know, but aside from that, they grew up in the era when games were at their most imaginative, at their most vindictive, at their most violent.
Yeah.
Because games have toned down because they now have to contend with things like age ratings.
But it makes you wonder, kind of, would no parent in their right mind...
Splatterhouse, Kill Thrill, pre-ratings.
Yeah, well, now the word Thrill Kill was banned in the UK.
Well, Thrill Kill was banned in the UK. But
We had ratings, other areas didn't.
Yeah.
But it makes you wonder, would parents... You wouldn't dream, would you? You've got, let's say, a 12-year-old kid. You wouldn't go, hey, here's a porn mag, knock yourself out.
Depends the gender of the 12-year-old at that point.
No, either way, it's still wrong. You would never give a 12-year-old kind of Debbie Does Dallas or Anal Sluts 3. I don't know why it's... I don't know why there's 3 of them, if I'm going to be honest. I don't know what the difference would be. I don't know how the story would progress from 1 to 3. But there's 3 of them. You wouldn't give that to your child, so why the hell would you give them a game that has you killing people?
See, I would have gone with a different argument there, and I would have used violent movies rather than porn.
Not violent.
Because porn is normal.
No, it's not. Normal porn is normal. That's that was a redundant statement, wasn't it? But generally, there is a lot of screwed up stuff on the web.
Yeah, no. You'd also quantify your porn. Everything's got its rating.
Well, think about it. If a 12-year-old thinks it's normal to put your penis in a bumhole, that's a bit off. Really.
That is off. 12-year-olds, yeah, you're dealing with a different...
Yeah, that's kind of something when you get to 18, well, actually no, I'd probably say 16. When you get to the age where you think, anything will do. that's kind of maybe when you go down that route. But at the age of 12, you should not even have that thought in your brain. Yes, that's how a teenage brain works. Right?
Oh, God.
When you look at a Lucozade bottle and think, that's got a wide head on it. Yeah, that'll... Right, that is a teenage brain.
That's a sight. That's an excursion into your teenage years that I never knew.
That was me making kind of, yeah. It was a joke, honest. But that is a teenage brain. But at 12 years old, you don't have that.
No.
You don't think like that. And unfortunately,
I'm never going to look at you right again.
Unfortunately, now kids at that age have games where you can shoot people in the face, murder innocents.
Yeah, this is the one thing is.
It's the one thing I'm against. It's the gaming industry. It frustrates the hell out of me. Children should not be allowed to play.
No, it's age ratings are all well and good. It's the fact that parents aren't clued in enough to know that there are age ratings and aren't clued. Because there's a brilliant story that I think it came from the comments of that article that you linked in that podcast, where a guy that was working in a game store and a grandmother. A grandmother was taking a kid. It was coming up to the counter, clearly buying the game for the kid, and he went, "This game's an 18. You do realise it's an 18. What does that mean? It means it's designed for kids over the age of 18. Your son, your grandson is too young to play this game. It's not good for him."
Yeah.
So she sent him off to get another one. He pulled back a 15.
He kept coming back with worse.
Yeah, kept coming back with other games. And again, eventually the guy behind the counter went, "Look, I am not going to serve you a game at this point because your grandson is bringing back games that are not suitable for him.
Yeah.
I am going to now walk away." And he did. Unfortunately, what happened next was the manager of the store put somebody else there.
And the kid probably got whatever the hell he wanted.
Because it wasn't the kid buying it.
Yeah.
And the manager only has the managers.
In the UK, we actually have different rules.
Yeah.
If we suspect somebody's buying a game for somebody else, you can prevent them from buying the game.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can stop them. But nobody does.
I know they do. They do quite regularly. It's just not as.
I know, they stopped me.
Yeah, but then
I may look 12, but I'm not. I'm 25, damn it.
But anyway, Sandy Hook Shooter did not do this for a high score.
No. Well, no, he did, but not in a gaming-related sense.
Yeah.
He just wanted to go down in history as the worst.
Yeah.
And well done, media. You've done well there.
So what have we got left? Sony partnered with Unity. Now that's good news.
Yeah, this is quite a big story, but we can't talk too much because it's
It's very
it's
boring.
an engine. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not.
Very boring from a listener standpoint. But in the PS4 announcement, they made a bit of a deal of the fact that indies would be able to develop games very easily and be able to self-publish and wouldn't have all the hassle of getting onto the PSN store anymore. Basically, they want to make themselves an indie haven because XBLA sure as hell had it and then fucked it over.
Yeah.
You can't question that. The one thing the Xbox did right, the 360 did right, was it had XNA and the indie games market, and then subsequent software patches, the indie section kind of fucked off.
Yeah.
And then they scrapped XNA.
They made an industry for themselves, didn't they?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm slurring now. This is too much beer. They made a niche. They made the Xbox something spectacular, to a point where I was one Splosion Man release away from buying an Xbox.
Yeah.
But then it just started to.
But the
fizzle.
PlayStation 4 looks like it's going to pick up that mantle, and Sony have partnered with Unity. Now, Unity is a games development engine that is free, that pretty much every indie developer uses at some point, even if it's only for prototyping. And it's good news.
Well, let's face it, after Sony's initial kind of... They didn't support the indies to start with, not by a long
No,
shot.
they fucked that up wrong.
Now they're just kind of felching every developer around just to try and get some kind of... Yes, that was a word. Just to try and get some kind of recognition within the industry. Technically it was felch, the word I had to get in there, but it's close enough.
Finishing it up.
Never Google that
Deus
word.
Ex Deus Ex Human Revolution is coming to the Wii U. They've enhanced it. They've added shit onto the minimap. Basically, they put minimap and hacking and all these kind of things onto the gamepad.
And if they can do it for a re-release of a game that did reasonably well, then technically...
This is a problem as well. I don't mind. I'm happy that they've done it, but I'd rather that somebody was releasing a game that wasn't a year and a half old and I hadn't bought already on another console.
Yeah.
That's not going to sell well, because everybody who wanted to play Human Revolution by now has done so.
Yeah, it's only the early adopters that have a Wii U, so why the hell would they want to buy it now?
And that's it, really. I'm going to pause a second. I'm going to go pee, and I'll cut this out of the video.
Okay, I'll just tweet to our many thousands of admirers. You buying that? No, I wouldn't either. There's only 3 of you. If anyone's watching this, hey. It's Paddy's phone. He subscribes to some weird shit. Something about anal lube. No idea.
You know what it's like when the seal's broken.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do the same now.
Yeah.
So you can keep the video people busy.
Oh no, this bit's getting cut out, so...
Oh, right, okay. Don't go back and listen to what I'm saying, will you?
I've never... You do realise that I have to actually edit this thing?
Yeah, I'm hoping I can be real loud as you do so.
Oh... It's the problem with editing, it takes so goddamn long. Because you have to watch pretty much the whole thing. Well, I'm kind of hoping I'll be able to notice what's missing by the fact that one of us isn't actually in shot. I'm kind of praying that we have spent all the podcast with us both in shot. Because if you kind of scooted off at any point, it will have gone completely wrong. We should, but that I was just planning on. It was just an idea to see if we could actually record it, but now that we've mentioned it so many times, we've got no choice but to put the fucking video online.
No, we have to. Oh well.
Although it has actually resulted in one thing.
What's that?
It's only an hour-long podcast.
Well, it's not, is it? That's an hour and 20 minutes, clearly. But
well, that's less than the 2 hours that we normally have.
And we've covered every single word including felch, which I wasn't too fond of myself. But carry on. What the hell were we talking about?
I can't handle this. Okay, now that we've paused, we will go on to the extra time stuff because we've done all the main stories.
Steam Alpha. We didn't cover that one.
Oh shit! Yeah, we missed one.
Steam are going to put alpha games so you can access things early. That is pretty much the story.
Literally, that's it. They've added a new category. It's called pre-access.
I guess we can
early
move
access.
on now, right?
The extra time stuff. All the videos that we can't actually play you.
Oh my god! The X Factor auditions are coming to Hull. Sorry, carry on.
I think after my rendition at the Craig Stag Do, I should go and enter, and I will win.
Yeah, it's coming home. I think should be. I think let's have a repeat. This is pretty much how it went.
Ah,
hey, it's coming home. It's coming home. It's coming home. To which about 8 guys jumped up on stage, pushed him out the way. Went, it's coming home. And then
my job was to get everybody fucking singing.
It worked.
And
Everyone
worked.
was singing. Yeah.
I did my job. I got the crowd singing. That'll do.
Yeah, I have weird pictures from that night.
So
I've got you in a pig mask, inside out.
Yeah, I've got that one as well.
It's a bit odd.
I'm not sure how I got that picture of myself in the pig
No, I
mask.
have pictures of me on my phone. I can't take pictures well on my phone. How is somebody else? Anyway.
The only group picture I have of the entire group has me in it.
Yeah, but I'm not. I think I must have taken it because it's clearly a drunk person has taken that picture. It's just blurred to hell.
Yeah, that's my quality of picture.
Yeah,
but not taken by me.
I was hunting throughout. I thought, I can't see me. Oh, that's me.
Are you not in the background on the table with Alec?
No, I'm not there. I don't know where I was at this point, but I'm not there. So
I have a lot of pictures of randomers in the mask as well.
Yeah, I do as well.
I think we were just walking around Leeds asking random people to put on a big mask.
Mostly women, if I'm going to be honest. Alright, love, nice to meet you. Mask? Much better. So...
right, extra time. This is the stuff
pick and choose, because there's a lot here, isn't there?
Yeah. Kingdom Hearts, I love that game. HD Remix is on its way. There's a trailer video for it. It looks fucking spectacular, and I want it now. Now, and that's all there is to it. Do you want to pick one, or we're going to just keep going down? Harley Quinn is going to be a hero in Injustice: Gods Among Us. It's looking like a very good fucking game. I will be buying that on release.
Cool.
Not just chasing down a free copy. I will be buying it.
I don't know what more to add other than no. Did that sound seamless?
Oh, I can honestly say I have not missed your random words.
The thing is, some of them are obvious, some of them are so well slid in there that nobody knows.
I have not missed your random words. What would please me is if the people that had actually given you these random words listened to the fucking podcast. But they don't.
They won't.
Not one of them will.
They just cause havoc and fuck off. That's how it works.
I will walk down to KRC and I will twat Simon for the words.
No, he's not. He's not put any in this time. This is people I work with now at Arco, so I don't work at Arco. Shit. Probably edit that bit out. I don't want to give a bad company image.
Fuck it, it's staying in.
Yeah. Carry on. Oh, Nvidia's graphics cards.
Right, yeah.
They put a Titan to the test, basically, one of their new graphics cards, which is a monster. It's about $1,000 to buy the card by itself. But they were showing what you can render in terms of facial
animation, yeah.
And my god, it is astounding. The fact is, me and Paddy were sat there watching. You can tell it's animation because it doesn't look natural, because every now and again it jerks and it's just not quite right.
Every now and again it judders, but
if you watch the eyebrows and the forehead, it's just...
It was the fact that we were watching it, and at one point I went, did I just see that fucker's ears twitch?
It is unbelievably realistic, and it is well worth a watch. If I can have a graphics card that can render that, and I'm sorry, Nvidia, but yes, the Titan will render it, but unfortunately you can't render a floating head in a scene and go, look how great this game is. That's not how it works. You have to render an entire scene. So there is no way that is going to be realistic for a while yet.
There's been a lot of response to Anita Sarkeesian's Damsels in Distress video, which is the Kickstarter tropes, gaming tropes versus women series that was kickstarted, and I cannot believe she got the funding to do this.
Okay.
It's the tropes versus women YouTube video series that she kind of commissioned on Kickstarter, that said the gaming industry is bad, and she spent an entire video pointing out how women are always pictured as the damsel in distress, and completely glossed over anything Metroid related.
Yeah, but that is, in her defence, that's one game. I suppose Alex in Half-Life, she wasn't a damsel.
No. She spent the entire game using Mario and Zelda as her evidence for this.
The worst thing is, I'm on her side a little bit here, but she picked the worst games.
Yeah, they picked another one from the Star Fox Adventures, where it was originally created as a another game, and then in the 80s, some of the marketing people said, make this a Star Fox game.
Yeah.
That female lead character that you've created, yeah, you've wasted time on the model. Put it as his goal for the game. That'll do. 80s was a different. She doesn't use a single game beyond the 90s to prove the damsel in distress.
The thing is, the breed has kind of continued. It's very much a male-centric environment. But don't use 80s games as
80s
your
and 90s
proof.
game as your proof.
Yeah.
And don't use games by Shigeru Miyamoto, who is quoted as saying, I don't really care about story, I just make games. The story is an afterthought.
Which, as bad as this is, that's quite...
And
it's quite a nice statement, because what he's saying is, I want something that's fun. I don't give a shit about story.
You work the story in afterwards. Yeah. I will make gameplay.
Whereas some games are heavily story focused, and I appreciate that as well. But sometimes you just want to play a game, don't you? You don't care.
Look at it. It's the reason why Mario is still being made like Mario 25 years later.
Do you think at 8 years old I was thinking, fucking hell, I've got to save this damsel in distress every time, bloody women, they're useless? No, I thought, hey, there's a pipe, can I go down it? That is exactly what I thought as a child. Nothing more.
I've just realised Mario is to blame for teabagging.
He is.
Because every pipe you came to, duck, 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 you'd always try at least 3 times.
Something about Mario ducking pipes, it just sounds a bit wrong, doesn't it?
You'd always try to go down the water pipe at least 3 times. So Mario is to blame for teabagging. At this point, I am making that statement.
It was kind of like extreme porn, because as the plant came up and grabbed your ball sack... No? Too far?
I think you...
Let's carry on.
There's a Did You Know Gaming video that they've made their own network now, and basically every now and again they come up with a video and they bring up a lot of lesser known facts about various games. Like the fact that the last one was Metroid. Metroid was based on aliens.
Yeah.
There's all the connections.
Yeah.
Ripley as the lead bad guy.
Makes sense.
Female lead. The fact that in Super Metro, the Metroid game where you part actually by Metroid 3, that's the one.
Yeah.
where you've been kind of spliced and cloned and bred with a Metroid, and all the Metroids in the game kind of ignore you in the same way that all the aliens ignore Ripley in the in Aliens 3 when she's cloned. It's all there. But apparently, in the original game, when the suit exploded, the Samus character was supposed to be naked.
Oh.
It was
I
only.
don't know what more to add then.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was the European group that went, no, put some clothes on
Yeah.
her.
Kind of a fundamental economical error in it. You just do not put somebody naked in a game, especially at that time as well, because games were kind of niche.
Yep. There's a trailer for the new Audio Surf game. Audio Surf is awesome. The trailer, it does have a bit of dubstep in it, but bear with it. Zelda hack actually putting Zelda as the playable character. Somebody's done that.
Yep, and they've copied blatantly from the Donkey Kong.
The guy last week that did Donkey Kong, but apparently this has actually become a growing trend. There's a mod out there of Donkey Kong, Donkey Kong Country, that has the female Diddy
I'm
Kong.
gonna nod and smile because I honestly couldn't care less. I think it's ridiculous. Modding in characters, really, it's been happening for a very long time.
Yeah.
You could claim equal rights as a motivation for this, but it's not. It's just.
There's a video interview with Ken Levine over Bioshock Infinite, as well as a trailer video for Bioshock Infinite explaining the Elizabeth character. There's the new Bioshock TV ad. Shockingly, I put a lot of Bioshock in.
Yeah, well, it is out soon, and to be fair, it's Ken Levine, so it's going to be a reasonably good game.
The next one is brilliant, though. I'll let you watch this one after we've done recording. The Bioshock Infinite is clearly a WoW clone video.
Okay, I'm going to take your word for that.
Basically, what it is somebody has gone through and read the comments on the Bioshock Infinite trailer YouTube video, and literally that's what he's read. That's what the video is. A bit of typography and a bunch of people reading the comments that people have come out with. Nice. And one of them, Bioshock Infinite is clearly a WoW clone.
Brilliant. And we have The Cave and Tekken 6 on PlayStation Plus this week.
Yep.
That is pretty much
That's it, we're done.
Yeah.
And in less than 2 hours, hour and a half. Woohoo!
You can find us on Twitter. I'm D_Gow. He's DrunkenGamer.
Yep, I am.
8-Bit Alliance on there as well, and / Drinky Talky thingy on Facebook. We have all these social networks and nobody talks to us.
They do occasionally.
Talk to us. Hi Trevor, we know you're still here.
Well, I have had people on the Drinky Talky thingy demanding that I play World of Warcraft.
Yeah, it's not your old clan mates, guild mates.
Yeah, well, they want to see me go into a looking for raid group, drunk.
Drunken gaming should catch on because let's face it, it's provided the most of our lives over the last 2-3 years.
Yeah.
I think I seem to remember this is one that always sticks in my mind. It's the drinking game around Dante's Inferno.
That was awesome.
I almost bought Dante's Inferno the other day just for that drinking game because it got to a
Where
point
did you
where
find it?
people were playing with their feet. It was in game.
How much?
It was only a couple of quid. It wasn't much. Should I go buy it? Yeah.
Which console?
PS3.
Go buy it.
Okay.
In fact, if you go buy it, I'll buy it off you.
Okay. So anyway, the story behind this is somebody sets a score. If they get a perfect round, they can name a.
This was one of my best creations as a drinker.
They can name a rule for the next game or the next player. And what happened was me playing Dante's Inferno with my feet, setting a perfect fucking score. Yeah, it will never happen again.
No,
I'll admit.
That was it. You could, if you did if you ended with more time than you started with, because you got extra time if you killed so many people and so many, then you could apply. Then everybody else had to drink.
Yeah.
If you didn't, then you had to drink. But if you got a perfect, you could apply an extra rule
for the next
for
person.
the next person. And then the controller got round
Yeah.
about three people.
Paddy's rule was you have to play with your feet, and I was the next person.
Yeah.
Cheers for that.
Yeah, it got round about 3 or 4 people, and we'd run out of rules to apply.
It got
So we
ridiculous.
just made up rules.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, one of them was play with the control pad behind your back, and they still got a perfect score. So that bit then became play with your feet.
Yeah.
And what did you do to the next person?
I cannot remember, but all I remember is I kept mashing the triangle button because it made you jump and shoot down. So nobody could hit me whilst I'm up in the air, so I just kept doing that until I won. So it works well. But anyway, that's pretty much the end of our podcast, so thanks if anyone made it this far. If you didn't, then I don't know what to tell you. But video people, you've been here a lot longer, so well done. If anyone makes it to this point, we love you!
Well, they're
You're
still
still
going.
here. A lot.
We were in shot. We
Yeah.
were in shot. That's
That's always good. Have I got more red throughout this podcast? 'Cause
I-
as I drink, I get redder.
I think you may have done. I
Yeah.
think you may be redder than you started. I think
my
I
eyes-
may be redder than
My
I
eyes
started.
are slowly drooping more as well, but it's fine. We're drunk, it's expected. Also, that
I've just
awesome-
realised I've been staring at that screen all night.
that awesome bike in the background, or the wheel, the little kind of
Yeah.
this wheel. It's awesome.
I've been staring at
It's a
that
fixie
screen
on a
all night,
hipster.
and the camera's there.
Yeah, I occasionally looked up and addressed the camera, but not often. So we look like a bunch of ignorant gits. The sound's probably out of time.
Yeah, but fuck it. This is
The video is like kind of blurry. If I did Big Fish, Little Fish, Cowboy Box, then I have no idea. So I really there would be lost.
But that's what I get from a fucking Microsoft Live Cam.
Yeah, well there you go. It's been nice meeting you all.
Do you want me to stop?
Yeah.